And so Scott, same question for you. However, you do in fact work with a team. So the language you need to hone in on is, of course, spread across multiple people. Please explain how you all are introducing the forms to your buyers while also articulating the value of your collective experience.
Thank you for putting this together. This is really, really good. So first of all, on the buyer broker agreement, I put my head in the sand until like before the 90 days before it happened. And then I'm like, I'll figure it out when it happens, because it was going on for years actually. So now that the rules have changed, I actually like it. I may be twisted or whatever, but I just know all of you and my team have all been out working with no contract, and you wake up on a Tuesday and the buyer calls you over, wants to show you their new house. So roofers, contractors, GC, we're the only lawyers, we're the only ones that don't work we do work without a contract. We list, so now the way I do a lot of coaching and training with my team, and we've always been a strong listing team, and basically now we are all listing buyers. So it starts with having a strong, like a good buyer consultation. Back in the day when you used to do that, they'd come to the office and understand their wants and needs. But now it's happening virtually, over the phone, but like really understanding what they're looking for and what do they need to sell? Do they need help selling? Are they in Connecticut? Do they need a referral partner? What lifestyle are they looking for? With their time for? By the time you went into a full buyer consultation, the buyer broker agreement is just an ending. Just like a listing appointment. We don't show up with our listing paperwork and just say, sign, I'm amazing. So, we go through a listing presentation. We show them how we're gonna help them. We show them the pricing. We help set their expectations. And so the buyer consultation, the buyer broker agreement's the same. And what I also, being a little twisted, I really like is my compensation is not governed by what the listing agent was able to negotiate for me. I'm able to negotiate my own commission and show the buyer how that can be paid. It's paid one of three ways. They pay it, the seller pays it through the price, or a difference, a combination of both. So our team has actually seen our compensation rise through this on the buyer broker side. So it was, so we are coaching, we're training, we're role playing. I'm an active partner in all of that. And we do it 3 times a week. And so we're professionals, professional basketball players practice, professional football players practice. And I try to make sure we're not practicing on the public.
Good one. Scott, you always seem to be looking ahead, embracing change, investing in technology. I mean, you have your own recording studio space that, by golly, I know he's going to give me airtime in there one day, y'all. I just know it. And you capture videos. So what are new opportunities that you see ahead in this positive forecast?
Well, I'll start on, I guess, video, because I definitely think it is the way of the future, and it's just starting off simple with your phone, or if you've got somebody to help you out with that. But we've also learned and grown that providing content that people are actually searching for, and like knowing what people are searching for, and providing that content, making it optimized, having great audio, and then video. So so we've learned that over time, and having the studio has greatly helped us. The agents, for the most part, they're not SEO experts, they're not editors, and so I wanted to bring that in-house and do it at scale where we could schedule time with them, and then also for our sellers as well. But the technology has been something that's been constantly changing and growing, and we've just created a hub. My previous experience was engineering and operations, so I like creating and I like operating efficiencies. So doing that for the agent, because at the end of the day, most agents on our team, they really like solving problems. They like meeting sellers and buyers. They're not the best brochure designer. They're not the best website designer. And so we take that off of their plate so that they could do more than the technology is just a tool to help that. It's nothing that's, it's not going to make you business. It's a tool. You have to still do the action part.
When we take on roles, albeit in leadership for our respective industries, even marriage, parenthood, civic groups, we become more stretched with our time and our energies. For some, that is the catalyst to joining or creating a team. For others, it's to learn from more experienced agents, or perhaps it is more about practicality by sharing the expenses, the profits, the responsibilities. Whatever the reason, teams can work and be beneficial for all parties. Let's get some insights on that dynamic from two of our team panelists. And though I would usually do ladies first, let's break it up a bit and start with Mr. Scott Reynolds. How has working with the team enhanced your business, and do the pros outweigh the cons?
What a huge question. So the short answer is the pros for me way outweigh the cons. I think all of us have a team. You know, if you think about it, whether it's your spouse or lender or title rep or your broker or your manager, all of you have a team. I realized I needed a team when I was back in Ohio cutting my own grass and couldn't start the lawnmower because it'd been frozen from the winter, and somebody came and cut the neighbor's lawn before I could start mine, and I'm like, holy shit, like that's like an hour I could have been like producing. So anyway, so that's where it started, getting an assistant, getting help, and then going at scale. To me, there's a lot of teams out there. I think teams became a fashion, and you graduate from this to that. I argue that. I don't think team leadership is I don't think teams is necessarily for everybody, to be honest, and leading a team is not necessarily for everybody. I get asked all the time nationally about building and starting teams, and my number one question is why? Why do you want to? Because you have to value being that coach, building somebody else. The agents are my clients. So it's been great for me. For 5 years, I've been out of production. If a client comes and they want to list a $3 million house, it is not going to be me. If they want to buy a $3 million house, it's not going to be me. But it's going to be me and one of my teammates. But the teammate is the lead person, and I can help more people behind the scenes. We have 12, 14 staff members. So my job is living vicariously through the sales associates. I'm not managing the office. So we build out lead pillars. One person, I wanted to finish up on the lead pillar thing, or lead generating. There's the people you know and the people you don't know. Usually the people you don't know is greater. So everybody's working to build relationships to add to the people that you know. But if you're not getting yourself out there, regardless of what lead pillar you choose, they're all, this is the punchline, all lead pillars are great. It's just, are you going in deep? Are you going in, are you putting yourself into action? Or you're like, that's not, I do it and fail and then nothing came of it. But then did you reset, learn from it, and then go back at it again? So I think a lot of the panelists said very similar things about, put things into action. So, and then the second thing is I think in the very beginning of teams, it was like a hack to, and I'm saying 15 years ago, it was a hack of sales volume to negotiate with the brokers. And it really didn't have a financial structure. It didn't really have SOPs, standard operating procedures. It wasn't properly staffed. So that now, I don't care who sells what in the MLS. I don't keep track of the MLS numbers. It is, you have to have the proper structure together, because anyone joining a team, they're coming for value, and you have to be a good partner. Otherwise, that's why you see every year, a teen pitcher looking totally different, because I would argue sometimes the structure wasn't set up properly. So, long answer, but that's my thought on
But
teams.
informative. That's interesting. That really is. The question is, if there was only one thing, and you may or may not have already talked about it, one thing that you hope that the people in the audience today do because of this conversation, what would it be?
Everyone's kind of saying something very similar, which is go into action. I think, there's a lot of, well, this works, this doesn't work, this little gadget here is super good, it made me this much money. Go make a declaration of what you want to achieve and go in full action and look at, so failure is the most data-rich information you're gonna get. Take that information and then go at it again and keep going at it again. There is nothing in our business. Our business is actually easy. We make it a little complicated, but just going into action would be the number one thing.
Very much.